The Unexpected Adventure. So this is the first part in a new 3-part trilogy for The Hobbit, based on The Hobbit, the book. And it starts off where we see Bilbo Baggins, played by Ian Holmes, and talking to Frodo, played by Elijah Wood, in the Shire. And he's kind of talking about the story, and he talks about
the characters,
building right in the book. And so then we start the actual flashback of the unexpected journey, which now stars Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins, and we see a new Bilbo, younger Bilbo, about to undertake this adventure of a lifetime with a unexpected party of friends to be, who he's never met before, all thanks to one Gandalf the Grey. And then starts the adventure when everyone starts coming to the house, and as it's very literal to the book. I remember, I think we spoke about this earlier, is when you read the book and you spend a chapter or two on a certain area, Peter Jackson has brought it all together, the songs, everything that was written down in the book. So when we finally see the dwarfs coming to the house, to the Shire, to Bilbo's place, they literally all come in as we would as we'd all kind of hoped to see them, and they're all different. They've all got their own different characteristics. Some are very straightforward, kind of standoffish. Some are more fun. Like all dwarfs, they just want to eat, just like Bilbo does, and stuff like that. And I think that's the only negative I have about the film, is I think they spent just a little bit too long in the Shire. They should have started the adventure a little bit quicker, because I think I read somewhere, and I can't remember the actual timing, someone said it's about 45 minutes. So the film is already long. Maybe that's one thing.
Long intro.
Yeah, to get to the point where you start the unexpected journey. You just want to start it off now. You know, we've already spent so many years waiting for this film. So many directors have come and gone. Just crack on, get with the film. But yeah, I get it, because we read the books when we were young, and then we revisited them more recently, and it is literally as the book is, and I think that's what Peter Jackson's gone for this time round.
I mean, when sort of Lord of the Rings came out, we had quite a lot of disappointment for things they had to leave out. But like the absolute opposite is true now. Is that he's really gone and sort of padded up the world and really added more to the story, because the Hobbit is actually a very small book, way smaller than sort of Lord of the Rings. So yeah, he introduces us to the dwarves in a much more personal way than we ever get in the book, because obviously we've got to he doesn't really characterise every single dwarf. I mean, Tolkien doesn't in his book.
No.
Whereas Peter Jackson chooses to do a bit more of that. So in that way, I think it's quite good. It probably needed that extra time for the dwarves to be introduced. But
yeah, because it is a big adventure they're about to undertake. So I get where the characters do need to be developed. I think that bit in their house maybe did need to happen as long as it did, but I don't know, I just thought it was a little bit too long. But I like you said, you know, we've read the book The Hobbit, we've read the book Lord of the Rings. We haven't read all the I haven't read all the appendices and all the kind of background books that go with so to see what Gandalf actually gets up to in the back end, which is great, to see all the other the Brown Wizard as well, seeing where he plays a part, which isn't
Sylvester McCoy, is it?
I can't remember. But yeah, even
I like
is all kind of brushed in the book, which you don't really see, and it's shown here, and it's great, because even though I haven't read it in the book, I understand what's now happened, because Gandalf just runs off, does his own adventure, and then comes back, and there's no explanation as to what happened in the books. It's just Gandalf's back.
I mean, Peter Jackson probably filled in the blanks a bit himself in a lot of ways, because he does add his own stuff. But yeah, that whole sort of, I don't know, they call him a necromancer in The Hobbit in the book.
Yeah.
And I never really made the connection between the necromancer and sort of
spoiler.
Yeah, the Necromancer and Sauron. Spoiler.
Sauron, yes.
So yeah, they thought it makes a lot of sense that actually Sauron was sort of formless, and yeah, and he was actually in the background of the Hobbit all along, but it just gets brushed over. So I really like that bit.
Yeah, those
Spoiler.
elements aren't explained in the book as well, but they come across really well in the film, where Peter Jackson's taken the time to go through some of these references, and maybe he's hired the right people who know more about the Tolkien world to do that for him or help him with. Because as a fan of the Tolkien books, I didn't know about the things that go around outside of these individual books, and it's great to see watching a film for a change where you don't always think it covers everything in the book. This example, it covers the book and more, and that's one of the reasons why I love the film.
Yeah, it's a great reason for splitting it into a trilogy, really, which sounds a bit silly considering it's so much more of
a short book, yeah.
But it just makes sense because everything is so brushed over in the book that it really needed to be fleshed out and make a really good film. So, yeah.
I think if anyone's read the book, it's a short book, but a lot happens. So turning that into a film is challenging enough because it is very quick paced, because there's always constantly something happens, and so having the ability to be able to do something, come back to kind of just slow it down a little it's a challenge in itself, because as soon as they get attacked by one thing, the chapter finishes and then they're off to getting attacked by something else.
Nice try.
In the book. So
such as the Goblin King.
I got this
stuff.
one.
It happens quite fast, but that was one of my favourite bits watching that first film, was the whole underground kingdom that they have. It's just beautiful. It's great to be able to see it.
And seeing Riddles in the Dark
Hobbit,
come to life as well. I really like that chapter in the book, and then seeing it in the film as well. Literally come to life. All the riddles, everything, and obviously I'm shouting the answers at the TV because I just read the book. But yeah, it's great fun. It's great fun.
Yeah. And if you're a general viewer of the Lord of the Rings and you haven't read the books, you're definitely going to love that, because Gollum is a big part in the Lord of the Rings, and obviously in the books the Lord of the Rings is a sequel, but in this case the Hobbit is being the sequel or prequel, so it's really great to go back and see where Gollum came from and how he got associated with the Hobbit.
Yeah, it was because it was really brushed in Lord of the Rings. We really see a very quick. We see the actual fishing trip.
Yeah.
We see them
get one little
get the ring, and then obviously him killing his best friend for the ring, and him becoming more and more kind of isolated from his friends and everyone because he started to hear things, and the ring takes over him. And they do show that briefly, but you're right, they miss out the whole interaction he had with Bilbo Baggins, which is the most important thing for Lord of the Rings to ever happen.
And it's good to see now. Yeah.
Finally see that all come to life. I really enjoyed the film. I think Peter Jackson's done a great job. It's just starting maybe it's just a little bit too long in the Shire, but I do think
definitely for the average viewer probably a bit too long.
For someone who's coming to it clean, and they might not want to be watching the same person in a house having a lunch or dinner. It can be a bit boring, and so I get that. The only other thing I didn't like was the film uses a lot more CGI than previously, and you can tell it looks really shiny and clean, and a lot of money has been spent on these movies. Obviously you'd have to, because of the set pieces. If you read the book and you're trying to bring all this to life, wolves, eagles, dragons, there's the battles at the end, without giving too much away, there's lots more elves, worlds, and all of that. It's huge anyway. It's very expensive set pieces you'd be building, so I just think that there is too much use or too much reliance on that, but you need it for fantasy adventure films. Yeah,
I mean the king was kind of blobby looking, wasn't he? But
Yeah, he was. With
overall,
his big chin.
I thought it was quite a good use of CGI personally, because I just like how they brought everything to life. So, yeah. The thing I didn't like so much was the whole one-armed goblin chase thing that they sort of added. You've got a sort of element of that in the book, but it's really sort of something brand new that's added by Peter Jackson, which was a bit of a lazy plot device for one to have to keep on running and moving all the time. But
Yes.
at the same time, it's probably necessary. So.
Yeah, in a film scenario, you always want there to be some level of peril that even when they escape a certain bit, they aren't safe.
Yeah.
Even when they get away from the trolls, there's still something out there that's hunting them. When they finally get to a safe haven, there's still things outside houses. There's still stuff outside of the mountains, even if they do get past the Goblin King. And I think for that reason, you needed that. But you're right. It just seems like it could. I don't know. I still enjoyed it. I liked the chase throughout. And even when they find Stinger, which I got excited about, which not many people did, when Bilbo finally finds the special sword, one with all the powers.
Yeah.
I love that sword.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like seeing that. Yeah, true. So, are we going to rate this?
Oh yes. I love the first three sequels to this film. So I was really looking forward to the origin story and going back to do the prequel. I was excited. I think even though there's a few bits that maybe disappointed me, because I'm such a big fan of the book, it's a 9 for me. There isn't much he could have done to kind of ruin it, really, because the source material is great, and he adds so much that I'd never known about. If it wasn't for him,
poured all the money into it. So.
Yeah, and obviously someone gave him the money, so good for them. Thank you, New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I'm probably up there
I
with
don't
him.
care what
probably
you
a 9.
do. I'm no dirty cop.
I think. I think they did such a good job. I love The Hobbit. I love Lord of the Rings. And I wasn't really disappointed by the whole chasing character thing that he added. I was actually more just sort of interested in more accepting that that's quite a useful device to add. That's quite an interesting one to watch and think about how they developed and gone from nothing. They've gone from having nothing, no idea what to do with this film maybe, to something quite astounding. I mean, maybe I just love all the money they've poured into it, because it looks brilliant as well.
It does look great, yeah. So you put down a 9 as well. So yeah, so that's The Hobbit: The Unexpected Journey, the first part of a 3-part trilogy. I actually waited for this film as well. So I knew the films were coming out, and obviously greenlighted all 3. So I watched this recently on a website which allows you to stream films if you pay monthly. You sat and watched these in the cinema, and but you then had to wait a whole year. So how? Obviously, we'll talk about the second ones after we've seen it. But how excited were you at the end of this to watch the second one? Were you going, yes, I can't wait a whole year?
Oh yeah, I mean, Desolation of Smaug. I mean, it says it all. Just waiting to see that dragon. Really excited. I wasn't sure if they would get to the dragon, but then when I was reading the book before I was going to see it, and then realised each 6 chapters of the book is a film. So I read 6 chapters, watched the film, so I could see that Smaug was going to turn up. But yeah, I was very excited.
Me too. So I'm lucky that I didn't have to wait a whole year. But I'm waiting another half hour, and then I'm going to be cracking on to number 2. So I'm really excited for this one. Like you said, I think it's because we love the books. So to see the dragon come to life, this is the big payoff. Yeah. I think.
I mean, I don't want to ruin it for you, spoil it, but Smaug just looks amazing. So we'll talk about that very soon.
Brilliant. Tell us what you think. Write comments down on the bottom. And yeah, press the big red button, subscribe.
Awesome.